Hi there, it's Steph. Thanks for popping by. Today I'm sharing with you a card I made using a Lawn Fawn stamp set called Critters from the Sea. It's a really fun stamp set and really good to build scenes. I started by doing my background, so I used some watercolor paper and some Ranger Distress ink. I used Ship Sapphire and Salty Ocean, and I covered my whole background. I then sprinkled a few droplets of water and use a piece of kitchen roll to take them off. I did not try my watercolor paper, but would highly recommend that you do. I then use my big sheet machine and I die cut waves from that paper. And I die cut 3 long waves so I could place them on my card, and I traced a line where I will cut it after that. I decided to do sky on a piece of Nina Solo white cardstock, and I used some Ranger Distress ink Tombow glass, which is the best ink for sky really. And then I placed my waves in the best spot, and I used some painter's tape, so that's where drying your watercolor cardstock comes in handy. And then I use my trimmer and I just cut it to size. I added some fun foam on the back of my waves. I had a lot of pieces of fun foam left, and because it's behind the paper you can't see it, so it took me quite a while. I did it off camera, and I basically did one piece with 3 layers, one piece with 2 layers, and one piece with 1 layer of fun foam, so there's, it goes up like little steps. Once I was done with that, I stamped my images with some Memento Tuxedo Black ink because it's Copic resistant on some Nina Solar white cardstock, and I started coloring with my Copic markers. For the dolphin I used the cool grey markers. For the turtle I used some YG markers. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I'm sure whatever you have in your stash will work. And I looked at images on Google just to help me color this little critters, because to be honest I didn't know exactly which color to go for, so Google was really helpful. So that's something you could do if you running out of ideas for colors. And for the seaweed or algae, whatever you want to call it, I used some G markers for the green ones, and I used 3 or 4 different colors, and I tried to really blend them together as well as possible, but I really wanted a contrast. I could possibly have had a little bit more contrast, but I think it's still okay. I think it still look nice. So then I continue with the coloring. After that I will do the seahorse in orange because I just wanted to use orange. And I try to use 3 colors, and I try to do a bit of a pattern. You can't really see it because it's a bit too far from the paper to see it, but I try to do little dots so it looks like there's a little pattern on the head of the fishes and on the back of the seahorse and so on. For the fishes I use some R29 and R59 or 57, and then for the Bernal hermit, which I'm not sure how you call it in English, the one that is in a shellfish, I use some red and oranges as well. I think these colors go quite well to contrast with the blue background, that's why I picked them. So once I was done with all the coloring and all the fussy cutting, I used a black Copic markers and I went over the edges of all the pieces because I wanted them to look really neat, and it does really make a difference, so it's worth it. Please do it, or at least consider it. I placed all my little pieces on my card and I took a photo of it to remember my layout, because there's no way I would remember it otherwise. Once I was done with that, I start gluing my background with some tape, and I don't know if you can see very slightly that there is a depth thing, the step thing I was talking about, so 3 layers of foam, 2 layers and 1 layer and so on. Once that's all glued, I add the little critters and seaweed that I glued with some Ranger Multimatte Medium or Matte Multimedium, and I have my phone somewhere. You can see it. Yeah, it's here, and it's just helping me remember where all my pieces are going. I did forget to mention that I did stamp my greeting with some StazOn because I wanted it to be really black and pop up, sorry, and it dries really quickly as well. After that, I glued the tiny bubbles for the Bernard Lermite and the fish. And that glue is really good. It dries really quick, which is good. It's a bit tricky because if you want to change space, it's too late, so just think twice about it. And then I put my card front onto a blank card, and I was almost done. I had to add a little bit of Wink of Stella because it's me, and I think it would have been great with some glossy accent as well, but not necessary. So I hope you like it. I really like this card. I think it's really fun and really colorful. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel, and if you want to see the close-up photos, please head over to my blog. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!